Okay, that time I went a little too far. Okay, I went that time. Can't be having that. Nice. Kept it together. Nice. Keep it together, keep it together. Holy cow. That was the most stable drift of all time. That's like an oxymoron, a stable drift. But this car, this truck somehow manages to do it. This is crazy. Look at this. This is insane. I've never felt anything like this before. Oh yeah, just an uphill drift, no big deal. Okay, time for the hardest turn coming up, the downhill sharp turn. Oh, I just got bumped. Oh, come on. Alright, we can make it up, we can make it up. Nothing a little drifting can't handle. Nothing a little pushing get people out of my way can't handle. Nothing a little four-wheel drive can't handle. Okay. Oh my gosh, dude, the drifting makes the turn so much faster. Normally it's too risky to drift. But with the stability of this truck, or for whatever reason, it just works well here. Not as risky as normal. Just gotta pump those brakes. A sudden pumping of the brakes kind of triggers the drift. You pump the brakes and slam the wheel to the side. Oh. Oh my gosh, dude, any other car I have would have been into the wall right there. Only this truck could maintain control in that drifting situation. Stay on the track, stay on the track. Get out of my way. Dude, the top three are so much further ahead. Drifting time. Oh yeah, just hug the fence with the top front of my car. Dude, I gained so much ground. Remember I just said they're so far ahead? It's insane what drifting can do. Okay, we've never come in third here. We need third for the story. Can we do it? Last time we came really close. Look at this. Oh my goodness. That is so hard to do in my other cars, and we're in third place position. Just don't crash, and we can finally beat this story race. Coming in hot, no problem. We can just swing right around with a drift. Oh my goodness. Dude, I know it probably doesn't look that hard, but in most cars this would be so much harder to do, at least the ones I have. Dude, can we come in second? First would be too good to be true, because I had a crash earlier. Stay on the road. That's a tough turn. That one tripped me up a lot. Dude, there's only a couple turns left. Only like 3 turns left. Uphill drift. And we have our transmission set for max acceleration. Okay, this is gonna... Oh my gosh. Finish line's right here. I'm not gonna come in first, but... Holy cow. Unbelievable. I finally got the required podium to beat the story mission. This is the craziest thing that's happened to me in this game. Because I tried to win this race. I tried to win this race with several different fast cars before this. None of them could win because I had to slow down so much for the turns. But when you can drift, you don't have to slow down as much for the turns, because you can just kind of swing around and then like kind of cut the corner within the turn, if that makes sense. And this car is slow. Like with the current settings, it can only go like 125 miles an hour, maybe 130 on a downhill. But like, this is crazy. Because I was trying... Oh, nice reward car. I was trying to win this race with much faster cars. Much better overall rating cars. Here's the replay. And none of them... I couldn't even come close. I could only come in like 5th, no matter how many attempts, after like 2 hours. But with this truck... And there's one specific setting that I changed in the truck that I never thought I would ever mess with, and it completely changed the ability to drift. I forget what the setting is called, but I will tell you right after this replay. But drifting in this game with most cars is so risky that it's not worth it. Oh my gosh, because you just... It's one thing to do a turn normally, or to take a turn wide, but when you're actually in a drift, the probability that you'll spin out... Dude, the probability that you'll spin out with most cars is so high that it's not worth trying to drift. Certainly not on like every turn like I'm trying here. But this was so interesting because I thought for sure I'd need a faster car, and the crazy thing, look at that. The crazy thing is the only restriction for this race, you can use whatever kind of car you want, but it has to have a rating, an overall performance score of under 700. So I was messing around. Oh, here's the tough downhill turn. I'm taking this slow. Oh, that's where I got pushed. That's where I got pushed by that other car. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, This is the most unbelievable thing though, because I was trying other cars that had an overall rating. An overall rating. Oh, there's where the four-wheel drive comes into play. Recovery on the grass. The other cars that I was doing had like an overall rating of like 699.9 something, because I was fine-tuning the settings to be just under 700. Guess what this car's overall rating is, this truck? Like 630. It's like way, way short of the 700. And this is the one that wins me the mission. This is the first time I can even get podium in this race to beat the mission with a car that has a rating of like 630. I was just kind of trying this as a joke because I'm like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if like... Oh my gosh, that was an insane... That's crazy to keep control in that situation. I don't take all the credit. That was the car and my settings just as much as it was my skill. But the whole reason why I tested out this truck is because this race, even though it's on pavement, it reminded me of a dirt rally race. It reminded me of a dirt rally race because there's so many turns, not a lot of straightaways. Oh, here's the tough downhill turn. What did I do here? Beautiful, dude. Because there's not a lot of straightaways on this track. And I noticed more than any other track that drifting would give me an advantage. So I was just like, how can I drift more? And because I was like, well, wait a minute, nothing has more drifting than the dirt races, and I used this Ford F-150 in the dirt races, so even though it's not on dirt, maybe I can set this up to drift well just on pavement. And because the truck has so much lower base overall score than my other fast cars, it means there were no restrictions as far as to what settings I fine-tuned and upgrades that I added, because nothing would put it over the 700. It's like under 640. It's like 635. Look at this. Also, I love how this course, like, it takes place at dusk, kind of. So on the last lap, like, the stars come out and there's fireworks. That's pretty cool. And I will be uploading... I'm not done with this race yet, because I came so close to firsts. I wanted to upload this video first, because it was like, I just couldn't believe that my much slower car was much better than my fast cars in this race, and it's not even close. That was like the final turn. I was like trying to do something risky, or the final hard turn. See, if I was in like a normal fast car, I would have been able to blitz past that other car at the end, but my truck has kind of slow acceleration. So yeah, I will show you, I doubt anyone's still watching the video at this point, but I will show you exactly what I did to make this truck much driftier than normal. Yeah, 635.66 overall rating, way, way short of the 700 limit. And it's the car that won me the race, not my super fast cars. Okay, let's go into the car settings, and I'll show you exactly what I did to make this truck drifty. And I do give credit to the game for giving good explanations that explain what the different settings do. Let me just open up my settings sheet. So, you can see, okay, so what I did was I put soft racing tires on it since it's mostly on pavement. Kind of weird to put that on a truck, but hey, that's what the race called for. But the main thing that I did, so first you need to buy the fully customizable suspension and have it selected here. That lets you change all these settings. And this right here was the setting that made the biggest difference in drift. The anti-roll bar. So if I open up the little help thing, it explains. Adjust the stiffness of the anti-roll bar, which connects the left and right sides of the car. The higher the value, the stiffer the bar, meaning that the body roll is restricted. Making the front anti-roll bar stiffer will invoke understeer, while stiffening the rear anti-roll bar will result in more oversteer. As soon as I saw the word oversteer, my eyes lit up. Because I realized, the game doesn't tell you this, but I realized just from messing around with it, oversteer heavily influences how easy it is to get into a drift. Now usually you don't want oversteer, because it makes it so that your car is like sliding and unstable and more likely to crash. But if you want to drift, oversteer is kinda good, especially if you're not on dirt to aid with the drifting process, if you're just on pavement like this race. So I kept the front one the same, but I adjusted the rear anti-roll bar all the way up to the maximum of 10. And that made such a big difference. Then something that made a lesser difference but was still important was this two-way LSD differential gear. I don't really understand it, but the game says that it helps with drifting, so I just slapped it on, and I think that made a difference too. But this anti-roll bar, the rear anti-roll bar just makes your car go into oversteer. It makes your car steer at an angle that like the rest of the car can't keep up with, if that makes sense. Which would make most cars super unstable and spin out of control into the wall. But this truck that weighs like 4,100 pounds, it just has the stability so that it doesn't matter if you oversteer. And then the other thing I did was I didn't go with the fully customizable racing transmission like normal. I went with an even lower transmission to prioritize acceleration at lower speeds. So this thing, it says it can go 170 kilometers per hour. I don't know what the conversion rate is, but with the slight downhill, this thing can only go like 130. So this is a true underdog story. And yeah, I just beat the only car that could beat this race with a 700 max rating was my 635 rating truck that looks nothing like the other cars in the race. The fact that it was actually necessary for me to do this, or at least it was the first thing I tried that actually worked after hours of trying different settings and different cars, this was the one that worked. Yeah, thanks for watching. That's the story of how changing my rear anti-roll bar won me a race.